Normally, you can either go again. I'm going to go with the best possible process that you can do with your normal license. Go to Teams. So I'm building it from scratch. So by scratch, I mean literally zero. So what we're doing at the moment is going to Teams. Normally, you should have access to do this. If you don't, ask your IT department. So create a team. I'll call it breach register. Again, you can keep it private, always keep it private. So because it will send sometimes again, these do create Outlook groups. So when you're creating a new team site, again, unless you're explicitly wanting to do something else, create a private team site. I'm not going to add anyone in. So for now, I'll go to, so as you can see, this has been created. I'll pin it up at the top. Okay, so no, I think this one, maybe I can pin. Yeah, this one, pin. So it would be at the top. Employee breach register. So go to files. So why I'm doing this is this will create a SharePoint site on the backend. So if I go to go here, open in SharePoint, what this will do, this will actually, so this will create this employee breach register on the backend. Again, I'm not worried about how it looks and everything else. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go to the site. Yeah, this is it. New list. So again, if you have an Excel sheet, you can upload it, but I'm going to go with there's all these templates, right? So issue tracker comes to mind. So what it does, again, it's kind of similar to Mahesh, you would agree, right? So what I'm going to call it is no, not employee data breach register. Yeah. Normally, do not do this. So you can uncheck the show in site navigation thing, and I'll tell you why later. So this already has been created for us. So what you can see, there's already a list where you can, if you do new, issue is a new breach description. I don't know, priority is critical, for example, status. Again, you can ignore it. Assign to, I'm going to assign it to myself, but again, I can search for anyone in my tenancy. Again, you'll be able to look up anyone within your agency. Reported date, I'll go with today. Issue source, again, you can have, I'm just going to put this as the source for now, but if you have a URL, just put it in. You can add images, issue logged by, for example, let's just go with Mahesh. And a test file. So once you do save, you see this. So again, you already have a workable list where you can see all this, right? So again, I'll walk you through briefly. Again, this doesn't look good, right? The priority one, column settings, edit. See this, Control X, more radio. Just bear with me. So it doesn't look as good. So to UI wise. So for example, I don't like this priority one, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, edit, delete this, create a new one, choice, next. What I'm going to call it is severity, for example. Again, pardon my English, sometimes the spelling isn't good. So just SEVERITY, is it correct? SEVERITY. Spelling is important, people. So again, I'm gonna go with low, medium, high. So high, always make it red. Medium, always make it a bit darker. So again, people do care about these. So again, just an FYI. So severity. So on this one, what I want to do, I'm gonna severity on this one is, again, you can select one. You can do multi-select on this, but again, we will have a deep dive on SharePoint list. We do have a lesson on this. So again, have a look at that. So what we're focused against now, going back to the original problem, is number one, employee database register, right? So that's already done. Second is a certificate of completion, right? So again, just having the list doesn't mean everybody can come in, because the risk that you have now is anyone that has access to this site. At the moment, there's not many people, but if you open up to other people, they will have access to this list by default. So that means people can see all the data breach within one list, which isn't good, right? So we'll restrict this list to only the admins. What you do now, go to list settings, advanced settings. See, read access, right? So what I'm going to do next is read items that were created by the user. So again, if you create a risk, you can read it. Same thing with create an admin. Only if you create it, you can read it. So again, by default, admins will bypass this anyway. But the default settings that I want you guys to use moving forward is this. Literally, unless they create it, they shouldn't be able to view it, right? Okay, so now what will happen is, unless the employee creates this record, they won't be able to see anything else in this list. That gives you the security, right? So again, you don't want Mahesh to see what Puska created, because as an admin, you want to be able to see it, but And the second thing, there's a new feature that I wanted to showcase as well, Mahesh, the forms feature. New form. So instead of using MS Forms form, which again, it's a good product, but it stores data in best case scenario, it stores in SharePoint in an Excel file. Worst case scenario, it stores data in an Excel file in Forms interface. What that means is the data is sitting in US server. So as far as I know, Microsoft Forms, the default data storage hasn't been built in Australia yet. It's in US, which is in breach of a lot of places compliance. So what I'm going to call it, employee breach register notification. So describe what the form is about. This form allows the employees of PTY Ltd to let the admins know about any data breaches. Again, I can add or remove, for example, logged by. Maybe again, I can remove it. You can play with it a little bit. It's not as powerful as forms, but it's a good one because, and again, you can set, again, you can have multiple selections here. For example, you can select multiple people, things like that. And you can change the name, description, status, like literally everything you can change here. So what I want to do is assign to, you don't need to, because this is an admin thing. I'm just going to remove it, hide, done. So now what you have here is I'm going to drag the severity up at the top. Yeah, and maybe the status, it's an admin thing. So I'll probably just hide this as well. So now that's it. So themes, I can apply a couple of other themes. Again, you can have your own style. I'm not going to go into that, but by default, it looks pretty good. Settings. So now what we want to do, you will. So this is how you get notification. So again, Mahesh, am I close to what you wanted to build or no? Be honest.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, so now what you do, you just share this form with any employee in your company and they'll be able to fill it out. Again, I showed you how to restrict it so that the user can only see their data, but this now means they won't be able to see any data anyway. So I'm going to go with issue 2, right? Description, something weird. Severity, for example, high. Today, source, something. Yeah, logged by. Submit. That's it. Ignore this one, but this is it. So again, what will happen now? I'm going to close it. See this? Issue 2 already has appeared in our list. And if you ever want to get the link of this list, or we'll go to forms. See this? Copy the link. Done. and you're able to send it to anyone, right? The second part is, again, now once this happens, we want to notify the admins, right? For example, depending on the severity or the date, for example, what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go integrate, Power Automate, create a flow. Again, what I'm going to do, send a customized email when a new SharePoint list item is added. Looks good. So this will go in and in the default environment, create a flow. And sometimes that's a bad idea, but sometimes it's a good idea because, again, to learn more about environments and whatnot, please join our course in the next session. But for now, I'm just going to go with the default setting because, number one, you might not have a license to create environments or to view environments as a default because that's a paid feature. So I'm going to go edit. So this works out well for you. Even though this isn't enterprise friendly, you see, when a new item is created in this list, it's already getting the list, get my profile, yep, send email. So again, right now it's setting, again, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hard code this. So I'm gonna remove this. Okay, send email to, again, this might be like employee breach register at something company.com. So what I'm gonna do, when a new item is created, but advanced parameters, show all. So every minute it's checking, which is good. So when a new item is created, right? What I want to do, I don't want to send every single item created because, again, it will have. Just bear with me because this is this like list name is database register. Clear all and then show all. Yeah, and just bear with me. The new designers kind of shitty. So I'm going to turn back to the old designer. And I'm mindful of the time as well, so I don't want to go more than half an hour. So again, renaming the flow is important. Employee, so data breach register flow. When a new item is created, again, excellent. What we'll do is send email, or again, you can change this trigger, but what I'm gonna do next is I'm just gonna go control only when the status, see status value is equal to, no, sorry, not the status, severity. I'll just go with the severity value because this will give you like a JSON file. This is better, is equal to, so only when the severity is high, no, over here, then I want to send this email. If no, let it be, because I only want to trigger a notification only when the severity of the item is high. So, and the email as well, I don't like this because the formatting isn't that good. Go back, this, hi, okay, again, there's already a set email. Hi, admin, a new employee data breach register item with hi has been detected. Please have a look and action. Regards. Automate bot. That's it. Again, normally you'd have something like, please do not reply to this email, blah, blah, all that. But what I'm going to do, I could be doing a lot more. Like I could be sending. So please have a look and action. So in the link to item. Yeah, so that's it. So what we'll do now, instead of populating data, like that. So what this will do now is, and also what I'm going to do if they identify a high severity item. So test again, I'm just going to go manually. So again, this will run every minute anyway. So what I'm going to do now is new one. Husker creates flows. New item to trigger. Status, we don't care. Signed to not at the moment. Date reported today. No, I think it was yesterday. Today, source again. I'm not gonna add anything at the moment. So let's have with severity. So I'm gonna create two items, one with severity high and one with severity low. And I'm not gonna go do anything low. So what I'm trying to demo to you guys here now is this flow will run. So it's in a loop, as you can see, it's in a loop every minute. Again, you can go less than that, but again, if you're going less than that, it's an extra cost. So again, the licenses. I'll show you what this works. So there's a peak core one. So here, yep, see recurrence frequency 1 minute. So this is the best you can do with any type of license with Power Automate Flow at the moment. But this is good enough because again, you don't want flows running every single. Just wait, right? So what will happen now is it will get triggered. And Mahesh, you wanted to send something to the staffs as well, right? Once they notify us, is that true?
Yeah.
So what's the process? So as in, how would you like to notify them?
What's the best way?
Yeah. So I think a mic's coming as two different voices. So we'll just go with these two runs, right? So the first one, if I click on the last one, see this? The first one should always be. So it always runs in sequence. See, the condition came up as true, the condition that we put. So again, it already has sent an email to me. But the second one shouldn't be sending me an email because it doesn't meet the required parameter. Yeah, no emails, but the item has been created, right? So let me show you how the other email's been created as well. Yep. Link again. I copy and paste this one now. Pardon the lack of spellings. So again, this is the same flow that we created with the severity high, and it will take the admin directly to this link. So again, that's the idea, guys. Again, you can do a lot more. For example, send it back to the employee saying, hey, what we did, I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff as you may think. Mahesh, do you have any questions around this, or are you happy with what we have so far?
Thank you, Pushkar. I think I'm happy with it. If I got any stuck, if I stuck anywhere, then I'll definitely come back to you and.
Sure, that sounds good. So again, thank you guys for joining. I've recorded this session for everyone's benefit. So again, we didn't do the certificate for completion part because again, it would have been simple, but like normally with a certificate, right? All we need to do is because you need to create a flow, or you just let them know by email, right? So in the same email, if the severity is high, or even if the severity isn't high, you let the employee know, hey, Mahesh. And again, Mahesh, like with the certificate as well, right? Did you like again, you would want them to take some sort of course anyway, right? For example, you would probably create like a course item here, and then like have a quiz. Like I know how well, and again, you can do the quiz in the SharePoint list forms as well. So again, based on what they select, you mark them, and then if it meets the criteria using Power Automate, then you'll send them an email back saying, hey, Mahesh, you completed your training successfully. If they get more than 80 marks, um, yeah, and then maybe generate like a Word document or a PDF document, which is fairly simple. But the core idea is this: using Microsoft Forms form, we can do all kinds of stuff, and and it's free as well. So with the Office 365 license, even with the F1, SharePoint Online is free. So it's SharePoint Online list. You can store up to 30 million items, which is pretty amazing, right? Yeah. That'll be it. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Appreciate your time, and I'll catch you in the next one.
All right.
All right.
All
Thank you,
right. Thank you,
brother.
brother.